The Bible says, "Be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines," in Hebrews 13, verse 9. And the study of UFOs is definitely a diverse and strange doctrine. And what we're getting ready to talk about today is conjecture. As far as I'm concerned, it's all conjecture. I wouldn't try to build a doctrine with this. I wouldn't try to even teach it in church or something like that. But nevertheless, from time to time, when you're dealing with people, somebody always comes up and asks you, "What about UFOs?" It does happen over and over. Usually I go to Zechariah chapter 5 in the flying roll. But the thing about that, that's a tribulation application. What about today? We're in the church age. And there's some ways in how, I'll just tell you the way that I handle it. I try to be as truthful as I can about what I think's going on. And I think we're dealing with something a little bit more advanced than what people realize. And I'm going to try to explain to you what I think it is. And this is conjecture. I'm not asking you to buy an ebook or buy a video or I'll buy a book on this. I'm just telling you what I think is probably going on. Back in the Old Testament, they had a tabernacle they built in the wilderness, and God took the elders up on top of a mountain in Exodus 24, verse 10. And they looked down at the top of this mountain. There was a big sapphire stone there, and they looked down into the sapphire stone, and God showed them the pattern of the tabernacle and showed them how to build it. And it's called the body of heaven. They call it the body of heaven in its clearness. Liken it to a body. Okay? When the tabernacle was built, they put on the very top of the tabernacle, they put badger skins, which are unclean. And below the badger skins was ram skins dyed red, which is like blood. It's like blood inside of a body. Throughout the Bible, the word tabernacle occurs over and over and over again. In the book of Job, the word tabernacle occurs over and over and over. It's likened to a body. Over in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, the Apostle Paul likens the tabernacle to a body. In 2 Peter chapter 1, Peter likens the tabernacle to a body over and over again. In the book of Job, around chapter 40, 41, somewhere in there, it says, "Out of whose womb came the ice and the hoary frost of heaven, who hath gendered it?" It's likened the heavenly tabernacle to a body, which is like bearing. In the book of Hebrews, in chapter 9, verse 23, I'd like to read a couple verses to you quickly. "It was therefore necessary that the pattern of things in the heavens should be purified with these, but the heavenly things themselves with better things than these. For Christ is not entered into the holy places made with hands, which are the figures of the true, but in the heaven itself, now to appear in the presence of God for us." And so the tabernacle is also a type of the heavenlies. And in the book of Job, I think it's in Job chapter 6, it talks about the stars are unclean in the sight. The stars in the sky are unclean. Well, your flesh and your body is unclean. Your flesh is unclean. If you're born again, you're spiritually circumcised, but your flesh is still unclean. Your flesh is not saved. Your soul's been cut loose from your flesh, but your flesh is not saved. When you get saved, you get regenerated. When you get saved, you get regenerated. Before the millennial kingdom, the earth gets regenerated. And you know what? When you get regenerated, you enter into rest. Well, when the earth gets regenerated, it enters into rest. It begins the millennial 1,000-year reign of Jesus Christ, which is a period of rest. Well, what's going on here? Why am I making such a big deal about the tabernacle and the heavens and the body? Because I think this phenomenon that people are seeing is probably something similar to what's inside your body. For example, they see these flying discs flying through the sky. The red blood cells in your body look like flying discs. That's what they look like. White blood cells are kind of a different shape, but they also look like a disc. People see these flying things that fly in the sky, some kind of a big organism that's flying through the clouds, and it breaks apart into two organisms and flies away. And sometimes they break into three or more, or even come back together. And in the body, you've got what they call microphage. It's an organism that lives in your body, in your bloodstream, and looks kind of like a dragon or a leviathan or something like that. I think that what people are seeing, they're seeing something that's coming into our atmosphere, maybe feeding off our oxygen, or maybe it's something to do with electrical. I think they're electromagnetically navigated. I don't think they have to take a curve like an airplane. I don't think they're concerned about G-forces. Usually in the sky, when people see them, they go like zzz, zzz. Something like they don't curve like an airplane. Take a turn very gently. They just go a direction and turn, and you know, something like that. I think that we're dealing with something that is more a requirement for the operation of the Heavenly Tabernacle. I don't think this is a thing where you got UFOs coming in that have aliens inside that are here to invade or here to explore or something like that. I think it has something to do with something that's maintained in the Heavenly Tabernacle, similar to what's maintained in our body tabernacle, something like that along those lines. That's about all I can say in such a short period of time. I'm still experimenting with my iPad, throwing some ideas together. And again, this is conjecture. This is all conjecture. I'm not trying to build a doctrine here. Just something to talk about, a little practice on this iPad here. Hope you have a great day. Thank you very much for watching.